International Youth Day commemorated annually on 12th August. UN General Secretary Antonio Guterres noted that this year's theme, intergenerational solidarity, creating a world for all ages, remind us a basic truth that we need people of all ages, young and old alike, to join forces to build a better world for all. Too often, ageism, bias, and discrimination prevent this essential collaboration, the top UN official observed. When young people are shut out of the decisions being made about their lives, or when older people are denied a chance to be heard, we all lose, he spelled out. Mr. Guterres upheld that as the world faces a series of challenges threatening our collective future, solidarity and collaboration are more essential than ever. From COVID 19 to climate change and conflicts to poverty, inequality, and discrimination, we need all hands on deck to achieve the sustainable development goals and build the better, more peaceful future that everyone seeks. We need to support young people with massive investments in education and skills building, including through next month's Transforming Education Summit, said the Secretary General. We also need to support gender equality and expanded opportunities for young people to participate in civic and political life. The UN chief maintained that it is not enough to just listen to young people. We need to integrate them into decision making mechanisms at local, national, and international levels. This is at the heart of UN's proposal to establish a new youth office at the organization. Taliban fighters beat women protesters and fired into air on Saturday as they violently dispersed a rare rally in the Afghan capital, days ahead of the first anniversary of the hardline Islamist return to power. Since seizing control on August 15 last year, the Taliban have rolled back the marginal gains made by women during 2 decades of US intervention in Afghanistan. About 40 women chanting bread, work, and freedom marched in front of the Education Ministry building in Kabul before the fighters dispersed them by firing their guns into the air, an AFP correspondent reported. Some women protesters who took refuge in nearby shops were chased and beaten by Taliban fighters. The demonstrators carried a banner which read August 15 is a black day as they demanded rights to work and political participation. Justice, justice, we are fed up with ignorance, they chanted, many not wearing face veils. Unfortunately, the Taliban from the intelligence service came and fired in the air. They dispersed the girls, tore our banners, and confiscated the mobile phones of many girls, said one of the organizers of the march. US President Joe Biden on Sunday congratulated India on 75 years of independence and said the United States and India were indispensable partners that would continue to work together to address global challenges in the years ahead. India will mark its 75th year of independence on Monday, celebrating the end of British colonial rule in 1947. The United States joins the people of India to honor its democratic journey guided by Mahatma Gandhi's enduring message of truth and nonviolence. Biden said in a statement referring to the leader of India's independence movement, India and United States are indispensable partners and the US India strategic partnership is grounded in our shared commitment to the rule of law and the promotion of human freedom and dignity, Biden said. Biden also said his country's Indian American community had made United States a more innovative, inclusive, and stronger nation. A delegation of US lawmakers arrived in Taiwan 12 years after Home Speaker Nancy Pelosi's one-day trip to Taipei angered China, which claims the island as its own. This development comes amid intense military drills by China around the island. The move is expected to further escalate tensions between US and China. The cross-party delegation consists of US lawmakers Ed Markey, John Garmendi, Alan Loyanthan, etc. On August 2, Pelosi, head of one of three branches of US government, became the highest-ranking elected American official to visit Taiwan. Since then, Speaker Newt Gingrich made a trip to Taipei in 1997. Our delegation's visit to Taiwan honors America's unwavering commitment to supporting Taiwan's vibrant democracy. Our discussions with Taiwan leaderships reaffirm our support for our partner and promote our shared interest, including advancing a free and open Indo-Pacific region, Pelosi had said about her visit. China has since launched military exercises around Taiwan in retaliation for Pelosi's high-profile visit to the self-ruled island, which Beijing views as a rebel province that must be reunified with the mainland even by force. As countermeasure, the US has deployed its warships east of Taiwan. So Taiwan, an island roughly 100 miles from the coast of Southeast China, is effectively encircled by US and Chinese warships. The Chinese military exercises involved hundreds of warplanes, dozens of naval ships, including an aircraft carrier group with a nuclear submarine in tow, amid assertions by the official media here that such war games in the busy Taiwan Strait will be a new normal. The military drills around Taiwan raised global concerns that Beijing may be preparing to annex the self-ruled island. Amidst calls for flexibility, openness, and the spirit of compromise that prevailed in 1982 when the landmark Constitution for the Oceans was adopted, the new treaty will aim to address the conservation and sustainable use of marine biodiversity in the areas of ocean which are beyond the limits of states' maritime zones. The session, which runs until 26 August, was convened following a decision taken by the General Assembly in May and is expected to be the final in a series set in motion since 2018 to draft an international legally binding instrument under the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of Sea on the conservation and sustainable use of marine biological diversity of areas beyond national jurisdiction. I am hopeful that we can make real progress in these 2 weeks with the aim of finalizing the agreement as soon as possible, said Intergovernmental Conference President Rena Lee, rallying delegates to roll up their sleeves as they delve into the technical and legal details, recalling that the 4 previous sections were mandated by Resolution 72/249 of 24 December 2017. She said that negotiations are to address marine genetic resources, including questions on benefit sharing, measures such as area-based management tools, environmental impact assessments, capacity building, and the transfer of marine technology. Having studied all proposals made since the 4th section, she prepared a further revised draft of an agreement. Ms. Lee said that delegates were also asked to submit textual proposals for the 5th section, noting that an article by article compilation was issued in early August. China on Tuesday said the activities of its high-tech research vessel will not affect the security of any country and should not be obstructed by any third party, as the ship berthed at Sri Lanka's strategic southern port of Hambantota amid Indian and US concerns. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin said the ship Yan Wong 5 has successfully berthed at Hambantota port with active cooperation from the Sri Lankan side. Wang parried a question of extending financial support to Sri Lanka, which went bankrupt, defaulting on 51 billion US dollar in foreign debt, which included loans from China. He said when the ship arrived, the Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka hosted the on-site welcoming ceremony at the Hambantota port, which Beijing took over on 99-year lease as a debt swap in 2017. He said the ceremony was attended by a representative of Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe, besides more than 10 heads of parties and heads of friendly communities. The atmosphere was warm and welcoming as Chinese and Sri Lankan national anthems were played and the Sri Lankan people performed the traditional folk dance on the red carpet, he said. President Joe Biden on Tuesday signed into law a $430 billion bill that is seen as the biggest climate package in US history, designed to cut domestic greenhouse gas emissions as well as lower prescription drug prices. At a White House event, Biden was joined by Democratic leaders including Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, whose support was crucial to passage of the Inflation Reduction Act along party lines after he had initially opposed a similar measure. Joe, we never had a doubt, Biden said of Manchin. Biden used the event to criticize Republicans as he sought to use a string of Democratic-led legislative victories to help boost Democrats in congressional midterm elections in November. In this historic movement, Democrats sided with the American people and every single Republican sided with the special interests, said Biden. Every single Republican in Congress voted against this bill. The legislation to fight climate change and lower prescription drug prices aims to cut domestic greenhouse gas emissions. It will also allow Medicare to negotiate lower drug prices for the elderly and ensure that corporations and the wealthy pay the taxes they owe. Democrats say it will help combat inflation by reducing the federal deficit. Senate Republican leader Mitchell McConnell said the new law will have an opposite impact. Democrats robbed Americans last year by spending our economy into record inflation. This year, their solution is to do it a second time. The partisan bill President Biden signed into law today means higher taxes, higher energy bills, and aggressive IRS audits, he said, referring to the Internal Revenue Service. Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, on Wednesday demanded that Myanmar must take back Rohingyas. Myanmar has not denied that Rohingyas are their nationals, but they are yet to respond to repatriate their displaced citizens. Myanmar will have to bring their nationals back to their country, Hasina said. She said the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights and former Chile President Michelle Bachelet proposed to increase opportunities for education and work for the Rohingya refugees sheltered in Bangladesh. Hasina, however, said that such initiatives would not be possible in Cox's Bazar, where Rohingya refugees have been sheltered since 2017. Hasina, however, informed the visiting UN High Commissioner that such steps can be taken on Basanjar Island, where more than 20,000 Rohingyas have been shifted so far to provide them with better basic facilities. The two discussed various issues including Russia-Ukraine war, Rohingya crisis, climate change, and women empowerment. Secretary in the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology Alkesh Kumar Sharma is among 10 eminent persons from around the world appointed by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on his inaugural Internet Governance Forum IGF Leadership Panel. In line with the mandate of IGF and as recommended in the Secretary General's Roadmap for Digital Cooperation, the Secretary General has established the panel as a strategic, empowered, and multi stakeholder body to support and strengthen the IGF. In addition, the panel consists of five ex officio members, including Secretary General's Envoy on Technology, Amandeep Singh Gill, as well as senior representatives of the current, immediately previous, and immediately upcoming IGF host countries. The panel will address strategic and urgent issues and highlight forum discussions and possible follow up actions in order to promote greater impact and dissemination of IGF discussions according to its terms of reference. The 10 members of the panel have been appointed by Secretary General following an open call for nominations and in line with an equitably distributed multi stakeholder configuration of ministerial level government representatives, executive level representatives of private sector, civil society, and the technical community, as well as at large prominent persons in the field of digital policy.